By the way, you're being recorded. Just so you know. So we really wanted to take this opportunity to just try to draw as many of you together as possible. Current hosts, potential partners. Everybody was really welcome to this call because it's just a general update on where the network is. We've got, obviously, the new website has launched. Bo's going to give us a back-end peek to the website so everybody can see what's up with that. And I think it's always good just to remind everybody what we're doing here and kind of how we got started. So first, I'm going to share my screen. Laura, I am going to turn it over to you now.
Okay, you're recording now, so, right?
Yes, I'm recording, so I'm going to make you the host. If you could just keep an eye on the waiting room, that'd be great. Okay. Laura is now our host. Perfect. Okay, so I am going to start first and foremost by giving you guys kind of a sneak peek of the host that we have had join us over the last, I would say, 18 months. So some of these names are going to be familiar. Some are just onboarding as we speak, but I want to give you a snapshot of what we're dealing with here. All right, can everybody see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, awesome. Okay, so here, these are pretty much in order of how people really have onboarded to the network, and I'm gonna hit some of these bright lights very quickly. The bigger we grow, obviously, we're gonna have less and less time to kind of network and get to know each other. We may be setting up some special calls where we can actually do that. But we have Jasmine here who joined. She was one of our earliest adopters along with Dr. Kim Birdwriter. Jasmine is young, but a very bright light. She's already making big waves and being interviewed and featured. Dr. Kim Birdwriter is, she is a medical trained yoga instructor, and she's also a PT, OT, has every credential you can imagine. Laura and myself, Laura I'm gonna introduce in just a moment. We do have space on the network for nonprofits. And so if you have a nonprofit that you know has good video content to share, touch base with me and we'll talk about that. And two of our nonprofits are Stories Lived and Human Postcards, and they just have amazing content. The Primetime is a show that I did in partnership with Lindsay Martinez, and obviously all of our production has come to a halt, but we do have one episode I'm going to talk about just a little bit. Mind Body Elevate is actually an event down here in South Florida. My Pure Life is a healthy meal company. We've got Cherie, who's a business coach, Laura DeFranco, who's a publisher. Lillian does live in New York City, so she's doing all sorts of hot topics there. Moira is the mindset cultivator, and she helps us change our shift our thinking. Andrea, who I'm going to introduce shortly, has a channel waiting for her once we figure out exactly what that focus is going to be. We've got Jyothi Dugar, who is an IT specialist, Monique, who is an Ayurvedic specialist and a coach, Lorraine and Rich, who own Aquarian Medicine, integrative medical doctors, Roanna, who does healthy pet cooking, Christy Sullivan, who is a human designer. She helps design humans in the best possible way. And then we have Laura and Erica, who are co-hosting a show on authentically representing yourself in the world, joint hosted. Sandy, who could not join us today, is she's actually created a spiritual game, and she really talks at a very highly evolved spiritual level. I just onboarded Hippocrates Health Institute out of Palm Beach, so they will be joining us. Ann Potenza, who is going to do Skate 8. So her series is all about roller skating because she's so passionate about that. And Victoria Lowell is a financial advisor specializing mostly in women-based businesses. So that's our definite roster of hosts. And then I have invitations currently out to a group of other people who probably will start onboarding with us in the next couple weeks. So we are at almost 30 hosts, so that's very exciting. Laura knows where we started from. It was basically me and her. So we have starting to gain some traction. We're not there yet, but we are well on our way. So I am going to just share a quick update. And most importantly, we're excited to share the website. Looks like we've got some chats. Laura, you probably are going to have to help me see if there's anything I need to be aware of there.
Yeah, I'm
too.
watching both. I have them both up.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, let's get this play slideshow. Just make it pretty. Okay. All right, so first and foremost, I want everybody to kind of understand who's really working behind the scenes for the network and for you. So Laura was actually one of the first talents that I met who really fell in love, I think, with what the concept was that we were building with WWTV. And Laura is a great example of having an incredible amount of media experience, but also having a certain level of spiritual evolvement, which is really what WWTV is. We're about business, we're about making sense, but we're also about evolving and really inspiring people to be well. And so she spent years in Hollywood on the red carpet. She's been nominated for Emmys as a producer, and she joins us as our creative director. So she's really the person that is working with me on show ideas for the host. She is co-leading the video influencer boot camp that we do every 6 to 8 weeks. And she's an instrumental part of the DNA of WWTV and really has been here since the beginning. Andrea, oh, Laura, I don't know, I can't see you anymore, but say hi.
Oh, I mean, if people can see me, they have theirs up. I mean, everyone has their views differently, but hello.
Hello. Andrea Warren, she is here with us today, and she really is focused on public relations and brand influence. So she and Alyssa, who I'll introduce in just a second, they're really instrumental and have been proactive in getting our social channels much higher levels of organic growth and engagement. So from a social media perspective, it's the Andrea and Alyssa team who are really leading our strategy and will work with you as a host to start to get your content really pushing through our social channels. And then Andrea and I are actually in the process of creating some guaranteed for you media coverage and media placement packages that as a host, you're going to be able to purchase into that. So Andrea has joined us, I don't know, how long ago? 5, 6 months? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's 6 months.
Wow, crazy. But anyways, we are thrilled to have Andrea with us on the team, and she is accessible for all of you as well. And then we have Bo. Bo is obviously taking a lead on helping guide me around some marketing initiatives, and we are going to start putting some focus into marketing once the website is really solidified and we're confident that it's doing everything that we need to do. And you're going to meet Bo much closer here shortly as he really took the lead on developing the infrastructure for the website while I helped to guide kind of the intention and mission and the aesthetic look for it. So Bo will join us here shortly, but he's a marketing guru. He's taught at the university level. He's worked in the music industry and has just all sorts of accolades and accomplishments in those areas. So, hey, Bo.
Hello.
And then we have Miss Alyssa, who is joining us from Jamaica, and she is vital for me in particular, but also can become a vital resource for you. So she has really taken the lead on ensuring that all of our social media strategies are implemented. She also has the ability to design graphics and do copywriting. And so there's just a whole breadth of talent and skills that she's bringing to us. And I'm also going to share a little bit how you're able to work with all of these different individuals for your brand. I share the love. Okay, So I'm just going to do a quick snapshot of the history of how Well World TV got started. I pretty much will go through this in every update call just because there's so many new people coming in, and it's always a good reminder for all of us that, you know, we always start one place, but we have dream and vision that has the ability to carry us to a higher place. So I was a weird sort of anomaly in 2011, 2012. I felt so compelled that I needed to create video content that would inspire and educate the world. Now, I traveled a very traditional media path in that I started to come up with a concept for a TV show series, and I had to cut a demo reel, which is a short video that gives you a synopsis of the series idea that you're thinking, and then you have to create some written content for the people that you're going to pitch it to so that they understand how is this series going to roll out, what style it is, what format, how many episodes are you envisioning. And so having had no experience in media, never being on camera, and never producing any TV show content at all, I started down this path in my mid-40s thinking, I think I want to produce TV shows. And I was able to get a certain level of success. So I knew that I was on the right path. And so my first concept, which is up here, was called The Journey into Wellbeing. I created my demo reel. I went to my PBS station and pitched it, and they agreed to broadcast it. So now all of a sudden I was tasked with creating a 1-hour television show for PBS. And so I did that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the financials behind this because I want you all to learn from this story. I self-funded this production. So I worked with people that knew and cared about me a lot, so they were kind in their pricing. But long story short, $30,000 later, I had a television show that was now being broadcast on PBS. So that was a very expensive investment for me. But as a result of it, I won an Addy Award, a couple Addy Awards. You can see my picture here. And I also received a letter of intent to broadcast by American Public Television, which reaches 200 million American households. Now, unfortunately, they wanted the whole series, not just the pilot, and I didn't have $1 million in my pocket. And so while that was a huge compliment, it was so laborious and time-consuming and expensive. So my next TV show came in about 2016, and I called it Senior Moments. Same thing, 30-minute format, but this time, because I had produced my first TV show, I was actually able to get some underwriting funds that basically covered most of my costs. I probably still had to pay a little bit out of pocket to get that second show done, but as a result of that, it did run on PBS again. American Public Television loved that show, and they said, hey, you bring us a series, we'll broadcast that. And the crowning glory for me was one of the segments was nominated for an Emmy Award. And so here I was, brand new producer, and already thinking, anybody can do this. Like literally, if I can do this, I believe anybody can do this, but there's barriers. And so in 2019, as I was producing my third TV show, which I mentioned with Lindsay Martinez, this time, because of our credibility, the work that I had done and the things that she had done, we actually got fully funded and made a profit on that third show. But keep in mind, that was a 6-year trail, very expensive. I had not recouped all of my expenses to date. And so at the end of 2018, I started thinking, there's all these brilliant people and voices in the world that probably are not going to be able to travel this path that I did, because that's just my personality. And getting picked up and discovered by a major network is nearly impossible. What would it be like if I created a network that would allow people who held that desire to up-level, share their voice in a bigger way, and there weren't really too many barriers? And the barriers to doing what I did was time, cost, and actually getting distribution for the content that you created. So those are pretty significant barriers that would probably keep somebody from jumping into this path. And so in 2019, the startup for Well World TV really began. So it hasn't been that long ago. So I met Laura at an event, the Mind Body Expo event. We immediately resonated and started to work on the behind the scenes stuff to really get this going. It was only about a year ago in July that my first website launched, and I had some early adopter hosts that came on board to join me. And this is just a snapshot up here of some of those. And then all of our production really was still in studios. So here we are at Dr. Brasilia Lazari's in Boca Raton, filming in her location. And that was last year. And I forged a partnership with a company called Glue TV. And now all of a sudden, not only was I able to offer my hosts distribution through our social media channels, which were pretty small and growing organically, so it wasn't like that compelling. Glue TV opened up the potential for us to have our content reach 2 million households. And they do that via Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, Amazon, all of those smart televisions. And so that was really last year. Well, we all know what happened in 2020. So the first quarter of the year, I was investing my energy into forging event partnerships. How about that for being blindsided? So I had forged contracts with 3 different events, all of which were canceled. So in March and April of this year, we had to do a serious pivot and figure out how do we now bring the network to even more people using social media channels. And this is where everybody on the team that I just introduced you to has been instrumental in guiding us where we're at this moment. So we still have our hosts, which are going to be housed on the main website, which is wellworld.tv. We just completed our second round of the Video Influencer Bootcamp, which is a training, which is going to be a prerequisite for hosts going forward. So we want our hosts to go through this training so they understand when they push the record button and start creating content that they're doing it from a place of strategy, a place of branding, a place of understanding how they're going to use that content to drive their business, which is really important. This year, with Andrea's guidance, we've started going live on Instagram. So that's an opportunity for our hosts to actually host their own live shows on our social media channels. You can see down here, Andrea is demonstrating on Facebook. Several of us are going live on Instagram every week. And then Glue TV is now in over 4 million households. So that's what's waiting for us. When the world opens up and we're able to start doing professional level production again, not as intense as real TV production, but as long as it meets certain criteria, your content has potential to be in that OTT space, which is really dynamic. We're seeing new hosts come on board. And then another thing that I got clear on recently is really what I'm calling a main differentiator for Well World TV. And there's a slide in this later. I'm going to jump the ship here a little bit. And that is the difference between Well World TV and other networks is nothing like us exists yet. I'm sure they're coming. Most networks that you would work with will just distribute your content. So you bring them content, they'll say, hey, we're going to put it out here and it's going to reach all these different people. What we're building is an infrastructure of support and education that's going to help you, one, create your content in the right way, but also support you as you begin your up-leveling journey, because that really is critical for your long-term success. And we don't want you just creating content just to get content out there. It needs to come from a place of strategy and brand focus and specifics. So that's really what we've been doing. Not a lot, right? Our whole website relaunched. We haven't done a lot since the pandemic, but we have. So this is just kind of reiterating what I just said, which is this is how we're going to differentiate ourselves from every other network out there, is because they don't have a me and a Laura and an Andrea and a Alyssa and a Bo backing them up and really giving you the support that you need to propel yourself as far as you're willing to go, as far as you want to go. So just to give everybody a summary, and there's no secret about this, some of you are actually kind of got in a little bit earlier, and so your pricing is just a little bit different, but this is the basic Well World TV hosting opportunity as it exists right now. We're still in an early adopter phase, so the cost of this is not a barrier at all. But basically, just to give you a rundown of what you're receiving, we're going to show you the website in a minute, but you will have your own channel on the website. That is the hub. As a host, you get one admission to the Video Influencer Bootcamp, which is a $1,000 value at this time. We will create you your own playlist in our YouTube channel. If you have 6 articles that are ready to roll, we're not going to write them or recreate them for you, but if you have 6 articles, that is going to be featured in our upcoming blog, so we'll rotate your content in that way. We will record an interview with me or Laura on Meet the Hosts of WWTV, so that'll be in StreamYard. You'll get a quick training on how to use StreamYard, and that will be circulated through our social media. And then Alyssa and Andrea are doing a great job of cycling all of our existing content in regular cycles through our social media channels. So it's not just a one-time broadcast and then it disappears. Once it's housed in your channel on the website, we have a cycle of rotation where your episodes are going to keep going out and reaching new people every time. As I mentioned, you get to host your own live shows on either our Facebook or our Instagram page. Andrea is the one who you can talk to about that. We would like to at least see some consistency so it feels like a series. You don't have to do it forever. Maybe you commit to 6 weeks every Friday at 10 o'clock or whatever that ends up being. We do have a university group on Facebook, which you'll get an invitation to. You also get to become a member of the Video Influencer Bootcamp private group. So all future content will be housed there and you'll have access to that for your time as a host. And then if you have content you feel is relevant for the OTT space, we will submit it to Glue TV for approval. And there are certain criteria around that that have to be met that we can talk about. And then just to give you an idea of the type of resource that we can actually bring you as a host currently, and then some of these things are in development, but we have the capabilities. Laura or myself primarily take the lead on developing you a press kit. So if you do not have a press kit and you want to be represented as a credible expert out in the world, this is something that you will need. Andrea is an expert at guaranteeing your placements. So we have opportunity where if you're like, you know what, I'm not going to hire a PR firm and just leave it up to the whim of maybe I get placements. We will guarantee you get placements on podcasts, live streaming interviews, and different things like that. We can also support you in social media strategy and implementation. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed and you're not really focused on your social media, we can help with that. Admin support, we can design your video thumbnails, we can pull keyword analysis reports for your content. Laura has become a master at editing. So if you need help with just tightening up your videos or doing some editing, Laura is available to do that. And then some of the stuff that's coming down the pipes is curriculum development. So for those of you who are coaches and selling curriculum, we can help you develop that. Laura DeFranco, one of our partners, is an author. So we're having conversations about a WWTV co-authored book, sales training, and then on-camera coaching. So what you see here is the early development of what we're going to build to ensure when our hosts come on board with us that they are surrounded by support so that you're in it for the long haul, not I tried to do video for 2 years, I'm getting no views, I'm getting no traction, I'm out. Because we don't want you to be out because your message is too brilliant to not share, and we need you to do that. Okay, Bo. Are we ready to talk about the website?
I guess so. I think we
Let
are.
me see if there's any, let's just take a pause here. And then,
Okay.
Laura, have there been any questions or anything I need to be aware of?
No, I let a few people in, but everyone's just saying hi and stuff. So no questions.
Okay.
But if obviously we wouldn't want to, I'd say save questions to the end.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you have questions, just drop them in the comments. We will get to them all. We're going to try to get through this call and have everybody out of here by 8 o'clock. So I moved through that pretty quickly. And then, so Bo, before I turn it over to you, let me just ask my team, Andrea, Laura, Alyssa, and Bo, is there anything you want to say to everybody before we kind of transition over to the website?
Just that this is a community, and we want everybody to collaborate and share and follow one another and be everybody's champion, because that's the way that we'll grow Well World TV. It takes a village to grow a baby and raise them. It takes a village to grow a network the same way. So it really is about making sure that we're a community. And that's why we're going to do these host calls every so often, so people can see faces and say hello. And you may find a guest for one of your episodes as well. So my main thing is remembering that we're a community.
Perfect. Andrea, Alyssa, Bo, did you guys have anything?
I would just say consistency. You know, it's easy. Everyone always gets excited for the first few videos, but really where the success comes is the video 5 through 100. So just stay the course. I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint with this stuff.
And I'd like to say, you know, when Deborah, to dovetail off of what you said about the other platforms, I want everyone to utilize these resources, because if you're really wanting to up level your business, all of these resources, you know, just putting a show on a platform isn't going to get you all of these things. You need to kind of incorporate all of these little nuances that Deborah's talking about today to up level where you're at and grow your business in an impactful way. So I find this platform to just be a full, complete boutique of all the resources you need to take your business to the next level.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of the website before I let Bo take over kind of the back ends. I just want to show you the aesthetic of it, just so you can see the direction we're heading. Obviously, I'm in admin mode here, but this is our new home page. So we tried to create, I love these colors, this blue and this green. The home page is really going to feature our hosts and then feature the latest episode. So you can see 4 of our hosts have already uploaded their channels. We'll go into one in a second here. And these are all thumbnails that you create. So I have a Google document with the instructions on everything that you need to have built before you begin to upload your channel. And creating these thumbnails in Canva is definitely something you have to do in order to represent yourself well. And then all of the episodes, so as you upload episodes, they're going to immediately cycle to the homepage, and we'll see those kind of, you know, we'll kind of know who's uploading content because we'll see that cycle happen. And then obviously this is just an introduction to me and the network, and a call to host, you know, because really I have not started to advertise to the general public yet because we don't have enough content to warrant the name network yet. So right now I'm looking for high quality hosts to become content creators, and you guys are really our key referral sources right now because we're not marketing. And Bo and I have installed a plugin for an affiliate program so that you can be provided a customized link that when you refer somebody to the network, we get them into our system, it's tracked to you, and this is actually a way for you to make some residual income back from the network by bringing us our future content creators. So more on that soon. And then let's go into one of these channels. Laura, I think yours is pretty built out, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, so this is all you. You get to build this on the back end. So once Bo's gonna walk us through our uploading process, but you get to create your own space here. So Laura named her channel, Laura Saltman, the Hollywood Healer. She has a description, links to her social icon. She created the graphic that she wants to represent. And then she has 2 series. So you don't have to minimize yourself or get it too convoluted with just a bunch of episodes. So she has her guided meditation series, and then she has her Wake Up Well series. So when somebody comes into her space, they're like, oh, cool, what's Wake Up Well? And then she also uploaded her graphic for this series, her description, and then these are her actual episodes. So these are all the episodes that she uploaded. You can see she has beautiful thumbnails in place. And again, this is all work that she put in on the back end. So it's like a YouTube-ish, except much prettier and more custom curated. Like not everybody can come into this space and start to create and distribute content. So that's that. And then the only course we have represented right now, of course, is our Video Influencer Bootcamp. Many of you have already gone through this training. Hopefully with the feedback we've gotten has been good. But this one is a game changer for those of you who really are at the beginning game of creating your content. And then of course, our call to action is join us, become a Well World TV star. And so this is a page where you can actually send people and then they will book a free consultation and we will start the process. But all right, Bo, you ready?
Yep, let's do it. All right, so I will share my screen. You know, when you get the request. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone here is basically creating their, they're not creating their accounts. We're creating their accounts and then they're going to go in and create their channels essentially, correct? So I'm walking through that process. So what we've done here is we've created a backend, a custom basically portal, a dashboard for all the hosts where you guys will be able to upload your channels, series, and episodes. So there's a hierarchy, right? There's a channel, which is at the top of the hierarchy. Then there's your series, so you can have multiple series under the same channel. And then obviously under the series, there's multiple episodes. So the first step that you're going to need to go through is actually creating a channel, which the URL is wellworld.tv. Once you've logged in for the first time, which the login is wellworld.tv/login. You'll see the login page. I'm already logged in though. So let me just go back here. Once the channel's created, this is going to be your display name. If you guys make any mistakes, we can always change it after the fact, so it's not a big deal. And yeah, just follow the instructions. So do a test channel, test description. We're going to add an image. And so for the image, we're going to add, let's add one of these test covers from you. And then there's also the ability, it's going to ask you to crop it. So we decided to go with the Netflix kind of covers because I think that aesthetic is more so where things are headed. And then when it comes to mobile, right, when you're thinking ahead to mobile and phones, it's better to have, in my opinion, vertical thumbnails because you could fit more on the screen. So you just upload the picture, hit crop. You can add your mission statement here. This is so that we can populate it in different parts of the website. So for example, in the future, we're going to roll out a blog and you'll be able to roll out and you'll be able to add blog posts. And at the bottom of the blog post, it'll be a picture of the author with, you know, your mission statement, like things like that. And then obviously your social media and then your general information of your channel. So actually what's really more important is the description. We're actually going to hide the general information. That's if you have, for example, an offer. If any of you have, for example, a product or a website that you want to link to, where you actually have like hyperlinks and stuff, that's where you would add it. So once the channel is created, okay, it'll take you to your dashboard, and this is basically what it looks like. Here, you can add series, you can edit, manage series, add episodes, or edit episodes. So if we go to add series, which would be our first step, because we haven't created one, it'll ask us, you know, same thing. There'll be a drop-down menu for which channel. So you're gonna have to select your channel from here, fill out the information, go through that process, and, you know, hit upload. After that, I'm gonna click add episode. And again, it's the same process with the only exception when you're adding an episode, right? It's going to ask for your video URL. So whether you have a Vimeo or a YouTube URL, doesn't matter, but you're going to copy and paste directly your Vimeo or YouTube URL as the actual link. And then what that's going to do is it'll automatically embed into our website. So all you really need to do for all of this is just simply follow the instructions, add channel, add series, add episode, and then after the fact, you can add them. So I haven't added any episodes, but if I click on edit episodes, I'll see a list of all of my episodes. So I don't know if, Deborah, if you want to log in real quick or show them just on your end what the edit episodes screen looks like when they do have episodes. The reason I didn't add any episodes on my master admin account is because I don't want my test posts displaying on the website. So once you publish through the dashboard, that post is going to go live on the website. Eventually there'll be an approval process, so you won't see it right away. We're going to go ahead and have to manually approve it on our end, but for now we're just keeping it. We're going to trust that you're not going to post God knows what on the website, and we'll stick to the topics of the channels, and that way we won't have to make any edits. But like I said, if there's anything that you need to change, it's pretty easy to do. So just shoot us a message, and that's that. Is there anything else you'd like me to elaborate on, Deborah? I mean, it's pretty.
Just show them. Yeah, show them that first URL that they're going to go to. So some of you have already received an admin log on and a password. And so for you guys, and that was like 2 weeks ago, you start at wellworld.tv/create your channel.
Create your channel. Pasting it in the chat right now. But you have to be logged in. So if you visit this link without logging in, you're going to see a blank screen. You're just going to see the menu. So no emails to Deborah saying, hey, I can't see the create channel screen. That means you're not logged in if that's the case.
Yep. And from there, you would do wellworld.tv/login to get to the login page. So basically, we're kind of limping through this first transition because a lot of you are already making payments or you've already paid for boot camp. And so the way that we've set this up in the future, once we kind of get through hosts that have already been with us or have already made some sort of payments, is basically the first thing a brand new host will see is basically an invitation from me to join the network. And there's going to be a link that takes them to a host contract. So they're going to sign the agreement to work with Well World TV for a year. Then they're going to go to the payment process. So they're actually going to be able to set up their $125 a month payment, which covers boot camp in 1 year. It's $1,500 for the year, if I didn't say that earlier. So they'll sign up for that. And then they go to they'll get booted over here to the create your channel page. So for our up and coming hosts, it's going to be a little bit easier than you guys, because I'm having to set you up customized subscriptions through Stripe that are accommodating some of the money that you've already paid, so that we can make sure that that is equitable to whatever it was that we agreed upon to get started.
One thing that I forgot to mention is when you're editing your channel, okay, so you have your description, but below the description, there's a general information section. So everyone here, in all of your videos and all of your series description, pretty much everywhere, you should have some sort of call to action to whatever your product is, the first, top of the funnel of your offer. That should be here. So all you would do is, my description, and then click here to do whatever my CTA is. Select it, click the link button, add a hyperlink, and then that way, whenever somebody's viewing your channel, they'll have a hyperlink directly to, again, whatever your top of the funnel offer is, if you have one. All right, that's it from my end.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's actually took us a long time to get to this level, and we're still working some kinks out. Everything is not going 100% smoothly as to be expected. I mean, basically, we're creating something that doesn't exist yet. So this has been a huge learning experience for Bo. It's been a huge learning experience for me, but I know that this has to be an automated process because, right now I'm able to pretty much talk and connect with everybody, but if we have 200 hosts, going to be really hard for me to kind of manually walk a host through the whole process. So our intention here is to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get going and create the systems in place so you can start sharing your content and we can start creating a healthier world.
Can I add something real quick? Sorry. When you guys are uploading your images, just make sure you're not uploading. I believe the limit is 2 megabytes. So you shouldn't be uploading images larger than that anyways. But if you do get an error, the most likely reason you're getting the error is because you're trying to upload like a 5 or 10 megabyte ginormous image. The way that if you do get that error, what you should do is there's a website called tinypng.com. And what this really does is it just optimizes the file size of the image. So if you have an image that's 5 megabytes, you drag it in here and it'll make it a megabyte, which will be small enough to upload. Most of you won't have that issue, but in the event that you do, that's probably what it is. That's all.
Cool. All right. You want to go back, you want to stop sharing screen and then we'll just open it up for conversation and questions. All right, what do you guys have for us? Thoughts, feedback, boot camp attendees? Tell us how that went. We're actually changing that process going forward too.
I just want to say, because I was thinking about when you asked me to say something, I was like, what else do I want to say? Oh, I want to say, so when I first started out, what you see behind me is not what my setup looked like at all. It was completely fuzzy and it looked so terrible. And it's like with every passing week, I've learned new things in this process, even coming from a background in television. So it's like baby steps. And then I just keep adding. I literally just bought a brand spanking new 4K camera so my image will get even more crisp and clear in a couple of weeks. But start small and build on, but just get started. So whatever you have, just go with it. And just, as Bo said, be very consistent with your content, because the more consistent you are, the more people are going to find you. Even if you have shows and episodes that you get 3 views on, doesn't matter. Keep going, because what will happen is people will find you and then they'll circle back to that old content too. So that, it's just, it really isn't. And I say this because this is how it's worked for me in the last 6 months. Is I was actually saying this to my son earlier today, because I'm doing an Instagram takeover for a wellness conference tomorrow. And I was laughing because I was like, oh my God, I have to do so much video content. It's so crazy. It's like, be careful what you ask for. I was like, I knew I needed to get into that game, but I wasn't really sure when to do it. And then once I started doing it, because COVID sort of pushed me over the edge to do it, now that's all I do. I do 2 or 3 podcasts a week. I make 2 episodes a week. I do Instagram live twice a week. It's just non-stop. So once you're out there in the world, people will find you, because Well World TV helps with that. The brand of Well World TV, people are really connecting to that brand and really liking that. And then you are an expert. If you are on Well World TV and you are an expert in whatever it is, or if you're an author, if you're a wellness professional, a wellness coach, you're an expert, and the media needs experts and podcasts need experts. That's why I'm constantly doing podcasts and getting last minute calls to fill in for somebody. So the more video that you put out in the world, the better. And just start small. And that's what we can help you with. I can take your setups that you have now and make them look like this, where the light is good, you've got your backgrounds, it speaks to you. Like my background speaks to me. Somebody on a podcast yesterday with me was like, wow, your setup is so warm and inviting and it's so you. And I'm like, it is me, because it's the colors I love, it's my show, it's got my things that I love. So I can help take you to this next level. And this is even the top level. This is like mid-level. This is mid-level lighting. And so in a couple of weeks, you'll actually see where I'm more at a high-level production value.
Yeah, and we actually have a couple hosts on here who really started with us brand new, had never really been on camera, were not comfortable with that. Lillian and Cherie, I don't know if you guys care if I call you out a little bit, but these guys are now hosting a weekly show on Facebook, every week. And just to see their transition from when they literally recorded their first show to being maybe a couple months in is astronomical. Lillian, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about what the experience has been like for you.
Sure. We just need to make sure I'm unmuted. Yeah, I just wasn't sure of how the whole thing works. I'm not particularly technologically savvy, but it worked. And then I really got relaxed, and it's more like, even though I'm imparting information and content, it's more of a conversation with my friends. And even though it's Lillian Live in New York, it's actually about all different kinds of cool topics. So I'm going to start doing making maybe some changes or some title changes. I'm not sure. So that's where I'm at. I wasn't sure, and we could talk about offline, where I'm at now in terms of the channel. I haven't produced any new videos other than the ones that I've created every week. I know I sent some information to Chantal, so I'm not really sure where we're at.
Yeah, basically all of your videos that are housed in YouTube, you can create your channel, and just like Bo showed you, copy that URL and it will look like that is your channel. So you just create your series, Live in New York City with Lillian, put your description, your graphic, and then when you get into the add an episode, you just copy that URL from YouTube. I think it's in the Google document that we share.
Yes.
Literally, pick the ones you're the most proud of. I mean, you don't have to, every piece of content you own, you don't have to put in your channel. Just pick the ones that, you're the most proud of and you want to keep that content circulating. So you're ready to roll.
Oh, okay. Who knew? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a just quick question. We have to upload all our videos to YouTube or Vimeo in order to upload it to the site. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I have a master Vimeo account. So if you do not have a YouTube channel or a Vimeo, I will grant you access to upload your content into Well World TV's Vimeo account. But one of the benefits, is if you do have a YouTube channel, we want you to still get those views. So even though we're drawing the people in to watch the video, you'll still get the views from whatever URL you post it from. So whether that's Vimeo or YouTube, you can do that. If you don't have those platforms, let me know and I'll get you into our Vimeo. Any other questions?
Oh, is Chantal still, what does Chantal do as far as anything?
Yeah, so Chantel's job really is she's just collecting the written content. So like I said, if you have pre-created articles, she's basically creating a stockpile of those, because I don't want to launch the blog until we have like a good, nest egg of content that, we can start to regularly, put out there. So that's really what she's doing. And most of you, I think, have been contacted by Chantel to submit to her some written content. So if you have blog articles ready to roll, send them to her. You can copy me on it so I see it go.
Deborah, can I just poke in real quick here too,
Yeah.
since we're talking about sending? So social media, and I know Alyssa, even though she's hiding behind her Jamaican flag, will chime in with me here. Use us to your advantage, okay? Laura spoke about you being seen as an expert. The only way you can be seen as an expert is if you're seen. So that is for us to be able to get your content on our social platforms. So without sending it to Alyssa and myself, we each do a different side of the social platform and the strategy. So your graphics, your content, if you have a promotion, if there's something that you're doing, as Deborah mentioned, Laura DeFranco is a publisher. She's putting out a book. Moira has an event coming up. This is our job, is to help you grow your brand. So unless you guys send us that, you don't get that additional support. And that additional support also helps you grow your reach, because we're not only are we sharing it on the Well World TV platform, but we're sharing it on our personal platforms, and in hopes this will also, as Laura mentioned too, all of us sharing each other's. And using these opportunities to grow your business outside of just the Well World TV base. As we all know, You want to get out to a larger audience and be able to create relationships and have opportunities. And I know Cherie's hiding behind her little picture too, but even those relationships that we've created, I just passed Cherie on to a corporate wellness event. So these aspects of engaging with us will give you opportunities outside of just Well World, but also share your content on the Well World platform to expand your reach. So just make sure you send us those graphics, send us what you're doing. You can inundate Alyssa and I. The more we have, because we're both starving, and shake your head, Alyssa, because we both are dying. Yes, we are dying for content. We really need it. So send it to us, because we are happy to share with who you are, what you do, because this makes us a bigger community as a whole, supporting one another as well.
Yeah. And even if you don't have pre-recorded episodes yet, you can still upload your channel. So you can still activate your hosting opportunity, because you literally can go live on Instagram every week, and you only have to do, my episode's like 10 minutes. So you can stay on point. And what that does, it just gets you in the habit of constantly creating content. It raises your confidence level. And all of a sudden, you're being represented as a host on Well World TV in a really simple way. And that's either on Facebook or Instagram. Lillian and Cherie both use StreamYard. So I will grant you access to our StreamYard membership, so you can pre-record your episode interviews, or you can just shoot live. Straight to YouTube and Facebook. So,
and also Facebook and Instagram reward you for going live. So they love to have their own housed content. So the more that you are on live, the more people will see your content, because they will be shown it, as opposed to the stupid algorithms for other stuff. So that's another reason for going live. And then people will find you anyway. Somebody from the UK reached out to me to do a humongous group meditation, because he saw me on Instagram doing a live meditation. So it's a really good tool, and most people are scared to go live. And because I've done live TV my whole career, it's easy for me. So if you're not comfortable going live just yet, what I would do is practice. So take your iPhone, turn it towards you, selfie mode, and just practice. Give yourself, give 10 minutes and see if you can go 10 minutes with being okay with whatever you say into your phone, and just practice until you're like, okay, I'm totally comfortable here. And it's okay to mess up on live. And so it's more about being comfortable doing it.
yep. And I see, just based on the faces here, that there are definitely hosts here that have content, so you can start uploading your channels ASAP. So that's Lillian, Dr. Kim, Cherie, Laura's already started her process. Monique, I don't know if you have created episodes yet. I think you have, so you probably can get started. So I'll reach out to you guys again tomorrow and just resend you how to begin that process of getting these channels activated, because we need content on the website. So we might as well get that going as soon as possible.
And as soon as that content's added, that allows us to share it on all the social platforms. So again,
Yes.
it would be super helpful.
Yay. Well, how about that? It's 8 o'clock. I brought that home just on time, kids. So it's really great to see everybody's face. If you want to say something before we kind of cut out of here, feel free. Obviously, as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, like I said, we're not going to have as much time to interact with each other, but we'll try to, we're setting up regular calls to facilitate different purposes. So we will try to do a call where all of our collective comes together, and it's more of a networking event where everybody can kind of talk and get to know each other, because that's part of the deal. There's a lot of business to be had right here. All right. Love you guys, and thank you so much for showing up and joining us. And we've got some new faces here, so send me a note, let me know what your thoughts were, and we will see you all real soon, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.